Welcome to Eligible Monster. I'm Ben. That's Nat. And this is our new show that I'm officially naming our couples show. That you don't like me saying couples show.
I did not want to talk about Code Vein in our first episode.
We are. This is our first episode.
No.
Can you guess what I'm naming our show?
I don't want to.
You don't want to guess the name, or
I'm
you don't
scared.
want to do the show?
Both, actually.
Couples Therapy. Code Vein. No? Why are you cringing?
Oh, God, I'm cringing so hard right now.
Welcome to Couples Therapy.
I don't know about this name, dude.
Let me know in the comments down below if you like the name. But today we're here to talk about our experiences with Code Vein.
Right, because I've heard they're very different.
Yeah, they are very different.
Right. Do you want to go first?
So Code Vein is a anime-based game set in it's very close to Dark Souls. And this is where a lot of our debates come in.
Oh, it's from the same producers and the developers of God Eater.
Of God Eater, right. Feels
Yes.
closer to God Eater, understandably why. But it's a fun game overall, and in general, we're both enjoying it. But we both have had completely different experiences playing the game.
Yes.
Because while technically the name of our show, I want to make it Couples Therapy, where we play games together, we didn't actually play this one together.
No. I mean, I told you, I warned you. I've been waiting for this game since the day they announced it 2 years ago.
Right.
Then they pushed it back for a year. And I told you, as soon as it drops, I want to be able to stream it. So
Yes. So you were doing that, and I had to go.
Yes, you had to go to New York Comic Con, so I was
Right.
not going to just wait around for a week for you to come back. I'm sorry.
So
but-
sadly, our first attempted game at Couples Therapy, I'm going to keep saying it till they either like it or dislike it.
If you keep saying it, they'll just grow. They'll just grow on them, probably. That's usually how it works.
We both played separately, but it gave us very unique perspective. So I have been playing the game in its entirety as a co-op game with a friend of ours.
The casual way.
You're not wrong, but
kidding, I'm
you've been
kidding.
doing it
That's fine, dude. I've been playing it offline, yes.
offline.
Offline with obviously a companion, because I feel like it kind of enhances the game in a way, because you are tackling the game with one of the NPCs.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how the game is intended.
Yes,
Because the
absolutely.
NPC, as annoying as they are, talks a lot, and you get some behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, it's you still kind of just
Unless it's Lewis,
depending
then he just won't shut
on
up.
your affinity with with the person that you take.
I mean,
with you.
it's a part of the gameplay.
Yes.
I understand people saying, "Well, I don't want to bring the companions. I want to make it more challenging."
That's fine.
But your first attempt through, I would at least use a companion, because it does add to the entire game's lore and
right.
discussions.
And honestly, I mean, I'm going to be going through multiple runs of Code Vein now.
Right.
But I wanted my first experience, my first playthrough, to have a companion with me and just explore and just have fun with the game. There's no reason to just go through the game by yourself.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to go for the challenge, obviously. But as a first playthrough for me anyway, I would much rather just go through with a companion and just experience it that way, for sure.
As a quick side note, they just announced 4 hours ago the Halloween accessories.
Nice. I
So
see.
anyway.
Yeah, that's cool. 4 hours ago? Yeah.
4 hours ago.
Nice.
All right. So anyway, you explain it better, because you go first. I talk way too much in these shows.
What do you mean? Explain it in terms of what?
Like, okay, so how would you describe Code Vein to someone who's like, well, I like Dark Souls. What is this game?
Well, it definitely is more of it's definitely more, it's inviting newcomers to the series as
Yeah.
a whole, because it is a lot easier, I felt like, going through it. Maybe, I keep telling chat that whenever they come in and they're like, as a person who hasn't played Dark Souls, would you recommend picking up the game? I would, mainly because it's not that difficult. But at the same time, if you're coming from, if you're a Dark Souls veteran, you will go through the game a lot easier, because you'll have an understanding of the mechanics of the
Yes.
bosses. It's very recurring. So you will feel more comfortable going through it. But as a newcomer to the series, you will not, I feel like personally, you will not run into the same problem that you would have if you would have picked up Dark Souls or Bloodborne first.
Okay. I actually agree with you on that one. I think part of the reason why I'm having such an easy time with the game is two key factors, and that is having my friend with me,
Right.
combined with the fact that I've played every Dark Souls. I've played Demon Souls. I've played Bloodborne. The only one of these Soulsborne style games that I have not played was Sekiro. And the only reason was there was no real customization. It just looked-
Sekiro is definitely not. You should not put Sekiro in the pile of Soulsborne games.
It just struck
It
me as a
shouldn't-
game that was challenging for the
shouldn't be
sake of
there.
challenging with no real customization. Which is what I liked about Dark Souls
Right.
and Bloodborne. I
Unfortunately-
make the character the way I like to play.
Sekiro was good. Unfortunately, the replayability was not there. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So hearing that Code Vein was very replayable, which is what I am liking about it, combined with the fact that it's very close. I feel the God Eater elements make it easy in comparison, even if I didn't have a friend with me. And the reason is because like in Soulsborne games, you're very much parry, block, roll, attack. You don't have any crazy moves, and I think the crazy moves for me is what makes this game easy, because it's, you know, block, roll, super move, block, roll, super move. And like,
Right.
I can take out most things very easily that way for my experience with it. As you said, if you are new to this, I would try and find a co-op partner to play with this, because actually it's just a lot of fun playing with our friend Sean going through this, because one, the game is already kind of easy, in my opinion, just because of the fact that you do have the super moves. If there was no super moves, I could see the challenge spiking. But when my moves do so much damage, it's kind of ridiculous. Like I'm a caster. I'm basically doing Louis' build. So it's like
Right.
I'm a caster, so I can throw out a fireball that stuns even a boss character, and then I just warp in and slash them up, and then I block and back off. So even just alone, I'm not doing too badly. But then with the co-op, the bosses don't know how to deal with 3 people on the board, because you still have your AI companion. So it just ignores one of the 3, and the third person always just goes crazy on them.
Yeah, as far as my experience goes, when you're saying that you can pretty much cheat the system by having a companion with you.
We didn't do that intentionally. We learned that on the butterfly boss.
Right.
Now, we had done every boss prior,
Yeah.
but we realized it on the butterfly boss, because she has the dive,
Right.
that when she locked on to one of the players, she wouldn't swap. So like if she was chasing me until Sean got in there and did damage, she wouldn't get off of me.
So it's damage based then.
Yeah, basically that's what it seemed like. So like I could damage her
But
and
you're
basically
supposed to do
tank.
damage anyway.
But I could tank, and so he would know, okay, I can heal, I'm safe, I don't have to worry about rolling, as long as I wasn't aiming her at him. And then he would come in, do a bunch of damage, and then I could back off. And that's what we realized.
Right. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of similar to the offline play then. You told me that that the boss was focused on you only, but not
Yeah.
your co-op partner. Like for me, as
It won't change on its own. We have to
With-
force it, basically.
with the
And even
NPC
sometimes he'll do a ton of damage, the boss still wouldn't leave me.
okay, so yeah, because with the NPC, basically, it's basically the person that's dealing the most damage, yeah, or the person that's on it at the time.
Right.
And
It
sometimes
just
will
seems to
just
get
change
confused.
like that too. Yeah.
That's what we've noticed. Once we realized that, we started to realize how a lot of the bosses were acting, and then all the bosses moving forward.
Right.
We've been tinkering with that. The boss just seems confused with 3 people on the board.
Well, 3 obviously, yes.
It just doesn't seem to know where it's going. So
Right,
once you
right.
start to see the cleave moves, you can get behind it and start going crazy.
Yeah, because I could see that you've got that advantage. Plus, if you've got 3 people wailing on the boss, you can stagger it a lot quicker.
Yep. That happens a lot easier
Yeah,
too.
so yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I could see.
But overall, I'm having more fun with that, because me and Sean are just having a blast playing together.
right.
And we're also very like-minded when it comes to these kinds of games. We've also been farming up each of the I want to call it a codex, but it's not a codex, is it? The classes, basically.
The Blood Veils?
Blood Veil. I haven't been able to play in the last 5
You're
days
fine.
because
You're
I'm
fine.
in New York.
You're fine.
Yeah, the Blood Veils, and we
Yeah.
get to farm them up and work on them together, and things. It's just a lot more fun.
Blood Veils and Blood Codes.
My experience is that this is a great co-op game
Right.
and a great intro to Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all those other things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a really nice intro level. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. And if you're a fan of it, then you can move on to the Dark Souls. And even then though, even if you want to tackle Dark Souls and you're kind of worried about the difficulty spike, you can still play with your friends in Dark Souls. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Same concept. Or
It's a lot
NPC,
harder to
same
find
thing.
them, though. The way that this one works is one of us punches a password in, it instantly links us together. And we did discover another cheese.
It's kind of the same thing
This one
for
we try not to do,
the
because this
Soulsborne.
is a cheese.
Yeah.
If you die, like say you're helping me and you die,
Yeah.
you keep everything you earned, and then you can instantly rejoin and appear right next to me. No matter where I am.
No, it's definitely focused on co-op.
It doesn't
for
work on
sure.
bosses, but
Right.
like some of we realized it with one of the guys that was invading. It was one of those invader things, which is like almost like a little horde mode that pops up in the middle of the maps.
Right, like the bunch of monsters
Yeah.
coming in. Yeah.
He got killed and instantly came back, and he just stood up next to me. We're like, oh, well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Full health, full all of his stuff again.
That's
everything.
interesting. Yeah. Huh. But yeah, so far, honestly, I'm as of right now when we're recording this video, I'm at the last boss basically. I've been taking my time exploring all of this. and I'm at the very last boss, and honestly, the most trouble I've had is I think it was like the second to last boss before the very last boss. I'm trying to make it not confusing for people.
Right.
I think I died like 3 times there, and that's because my companion was unable to revive me.
Oh,
At least twice in a row, and honestly, besides that, it was pretty much one-shotting bosses every single time.
Yeah, so the game's not overly challenging if you're familiar with the style.
You can,
because that's what I tell a lot of
challenging.
people. A lot of people.
You can go back as a challenge, Ron, and just go like, I'm just gonna not use any skills and just go like attacks basically, and that's it.
Yeah, she's done. Me and Sean are 2/3 of the way through. Now another friend of ours is already on his New Game Plus, and apparently the difficulty does scale.
Good.
Drastically.
Good.
To the point where people say that like that is like a true Souls situation,
good.
but I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
so.
I'm going to be going into it very soon, so I'll be able to vouch for it.
So I mean, overall, what do you think about the story?
Oh, the story hooked me in, especially because I'm trying to go for 100% completion. And when you do that, when you're trying to restore the vestiges, it makes you care for the characters even more, and the story come together even more. So if you're a fan of the story, make sure to just take your time and explore everything there is to explore, the maps, the depths, everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of story to it.
There's a lot to it. Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't take the Dark Souls strategy where it just tells you like a bit and you got to figure it out. It's like, here's the full cutscene, and then you can go deeper in the memory over here.
Yeah, it's very much like, well, I wouldn't say Sekiro. Sekiro is kind of like you've got your story and there's nothing around that, whatever.
Right.
But when it comes to Code Vein, you can blitz through it if you're not interested in the story that much. But if you are, there is a lot of lore.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm liking about it. I'm really getting attached to the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, it's a great game. I think it is. If you like Soulsborne style games and you got a good friend to play with, it's just a nice casual one. I do think it's easier because we're so familiar with Dark Souls and Bloodborne. A lot of people like to say that Dark Souls 2 and 3 were so much easier than 1.
I've seen so many. Honestly, when you see the bosses, you can. I mean, if you didn't know who made the game, you could definitely tell by just looking at the kind of like bosses designs and whatnot in the fights and the moves, and you can tell exactly where it came from. The inspiration came from for sure. Yeah, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's a boss coming up where.
Okay.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd say it's a great game. People like to say that Dark Souls 2 and 3 are easier than 1, and they are. But I do feel like, yes, they made them a little easier because they gave you the healing stones and more of the Estus flask and stuff like that.
Right.
But I also feel like they were easier because we knew what to expect.
And that's the thing.
Dark Souls 1 was so hard because we didn't know what we were getting into at the time.
Right. And that's the good thing about Code Vein is that if you're just a person that just is wanting to just tackle the game and just have fun with it, you can go through the game once. But I know that the hardcore fans can stick around later and do New Game Plus and then see the challenge there.
Yes.
So it's not going to frustrate anyone that is trying to, get into the series as a newbie, Mm-hmm. So yeah, honestly, to me personally, I have yet to go through New Game Plus, but right now, as even if it's not as complex as I kind of hoped it would be, it's still my favorite of the year so far. Even
it is really good,
even beyond Sekiro. I mean, Sekiro
it's got its
incredible.
glitches and issues. We've run into a couple,
yeah,
but nothing drastically. We had one game-breaking bug, where if we tried to co-op in a very particular room in the cathedral,
yeah.
It would not brick because that like completely, but it would basically brick the PS4 without breaking entirely. We had to unplug it, both of us.
So you're playing on PS4, I'm playing on PC.
Yeah.
And PC, whenever you try to go to new areas and just try and launch forward to the new area, it kind of is like sluggish because it's loading the next area.
Right.
And then the other groundbreaking, it's not really groundbreaking, but when I got to a specific location yesterday, actually, the game just crashed entirely and I lost all my progress of like 2 hours.
Yeah, so it's got a few moments here and there, but I wouldn't say
yeah.
enough that would hinder playing. Just enough that it's like, save frequently.
But it was my fault though, because I literally discovered a missile, which is a bonfire essentially.
Oh yeah, you can't even save. You gotta go to the bonfires.
And you have to go to the missile and you have to hit it. Otherwise, that's what I basically forgot to do. I discovered a missile. I forgot to hit it again. Then I just moved forward and then I crashed and then I just lost all my progress.
Yeah. So we've each experienced a crash. It's not perfect, but definitely not. I have yet to experience enough that makes me not want to play.
No, absolutely.
I played plenty of other games where I'm like, well, we're done because I'm tired of this.
No, it's absolutely polished. The gameplay is not too complex. It's just fun. It's not needlessly complex, I should say.
Right.
And it's just a lot of fun to go through, honestly. There's so many different builds you can do in the game. I could see it being sticking around for quite a while. Not as much as Dark Souls, but at least it's got some replayability. So I could see people at least being on it for a couple of months, I would say. before they get bored, for sure.
All right. Anything else you want to say about it?
I love it, man. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed the first. We'll work out the kinks in this a little bit. The first episode of Couples Therapy. And if you don't like the name, now's your chance to try and get a change.
God, please.
Couples Therapy.
Please help.
What's the next game we're going to co-op? Because I tried to get you to do Breakpoint, but I'm not hearing good things. Unless you want to do that, so we can talk about it.
Really? You're not?
Well, I already bought it, so then I heard it wasn't good.
Okay. Literally, yesterday you told me let's just go through it together, just the two of us.
Right, I didn't hear anything terrible about it.
And you bought it already.
So I bought it so we can play it. And then Andy came in and was like, yeah, it's getting really shit on. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, crap. I thought it was just microtransactions whining. But we can talk about that next week when we both play.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you guys next week. Find Natalie over at Twitch at twitch.tv/ZoticoCandy. You can also find both of us at twitch.tv/EligibleMonster. And we'll see you next time right here.
Thanks.